tariff on Canada, apparently irked by a TV ad paid for by the Canadian province of Ontario, an ad that ran on U.S. TV networks, an ad that used parts of an anti-tariff speech by former President Ronald Reagan in 1987.
High tariffs inevitably lead to retaliation by foreign countries and the triggering of fierce trade wars. Then the worst happens. Markets shrink and collapse, businesses and industries shut down, and millions of people lose their jobs. America's jobs and growth are at stake.
That TV ad ran over the weekend, including during the World Series. And joining us now is the Premier of Ontario, Doug Ford. Thank you so much for joining us, sir. So you said this morning that this was, quote, the most successful ad in the history of North America. Is the additional 10% tariff on Canadians also part of that success?
Well, first of all, Jake, thanks for having me on. I start off every interviewing saying that Canadians love Americans. I love America, love Americans. I've lived there for 20 years, and my intention was to bring this to the American people and tell them that tariffs, protectionism, does not work. Ronald Reagan was a free trader, the greatest president, in my opinion, ever. And we wanted to get the message out. And did the message get out? 100%. It had 11.4 billion with a B impressions. We talk in the media, but views around the world. And again, we just want to make sure that we work side by side with our closest friends and allies. A tariff on Canada is a tax on Americans. President Trump ran on creating more jobs. We've seen 5 consecutive months, manufacturing jobs are down. We've seen inflation go up. That's not what President Trump ran on. And we want to be the solution. And the way we get back on track is sign a deal with your largest #1 customer in the world, and that's Canada.
Mm-hmm. CNN's news gathering partner, CBC, reports that your anti-Trump rhetoric, your criticism of Trump, came up repeatedly during trade negotiations. Was that intentional at all, being the bad cop?
Well, I've never said anything personal about President Trump. In our ad, it was very ironic that President Trump saw it and he said, yeah, that was a good ad. If I was Canada, I'd run the same ad. And then all of a sudden he wakes up in the morning, someone whispers something in his ear, and now he's not happy. But it was an ad to inform the people in the U.S. and mission accomplished.
After you spoke with your Prime Minister, Mark Carney, you paused the campaign, effective today, so the trade talks could resume. Did Carney demand that you do that?
No, he doesn't demand anything off me. I have a job to protect the largest economy in Canada, the engine of Canada, 16.5 million people, and that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm protecting the steel jobs, the auto jobs, the life science jobs, the manufacturing jobs. That's my duty as the Premier of Ontario.
Canada's unemployment rate, as I'm sure I don't need to tell you, is now at its highest point in 9 years. Do you have any regrets about stirring the pot, possibly making things harder on your fellow Canadians due to this retaliation from President Trump?
No, I don't believe so. The person that started this whole thing around the world, not just with Canada, is President Trump. And the American people are finally feeling the effects of tariffs. And it's going to continue. The more tariffs, it's more of a tax on Americans and less jobs for America. If anyone reads into many speeches Ronald Reagan did, after the free trade agreement with Canada with former Prime Minister Brian Mulroney, which is no longer with us, he was one of my mentors, and he created more jobs, not only in Canada, but also in the U.S. than we've ever seen. Again, protectionism does not work. We want to create more jobs in the U.S., more jobs in Canada. I believe in the AMCAN fortress, which is the American-Canadian fortress. And let's be the wealthiest, richest, safest 2 countries in the entire world. We have so much to offer the Americans that we give them, no matter if it's our oil or our uranium or our potash that keeps your agriculture sector, or nickel, high-grade nickel from Ontario. And the auto sector they're losing billions of dollars every year now because of these tariffs.
Ontario Premier Doug Ford, thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate it, sir.
Thank you. Oh, thanks so much, Jake. And God bless America. God bless Canada. Thank you.
Here in Washington, D.C.,